Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. Saubana. So good to see so many of you here. Mr. P. Gupta, I can see you. Thank you for being here. Manisha, Aarti, Healing Stories. Super, super duper. Good morning to all of you. Very, very happy Karwa Chauth. Yes, I am totally in Karwa Chauth mode. As you can see, glittering and shining. Yes. I am extremely fond of festivals. I know for a lot of people, Karwa Chauth can feel regressive. For a lot of people, Karwa Chauth is a part of the patriarchy. And of course, if you're being forced to do anything like this, it can feel patriarchal. But I love loving my man because of the amount he loves me back. So anytime where there is mutual love, these kind of actually festivals bring you closer even more. So I'm a big, very, fan of Karwa Chauth. I'm not someone who likes to pray for long life as much as I like to pray for happy life. That every single person has a happy life. Till the time they're alive, may their struggles be at the least. May they, have a great life. May they have a pain-free, healthy, good, gorgeous, abundance-filled life. So that's more like my take on Karwa Chauth. I like to give it because I know a lot of people feel like, whoa, Puja, why do you support a festival where it's all about praying for the long life of the man? I think that at one point it was so beautiful. I think when the festival must have started, it must have been such a lovely gesture that your life matters to me and I want God to know that. For me, I'm a big believer that even in manifestation, you give up anything that you deeply desire in the materialistic world. The law of spirituality says you give up anything that you deeply desire in the materialistic world. God then compensates you in the spiritual world. What do I mean? If you are, for example, very fond of, I'm taking a random example, but wine, and you say, Godji, for the next 30 days, I will not drink wine against this that I would love to get. Then Godji notices your sacrifice and therefore, gives you in return whatever it is that you desire. So it's there in every religion, whether you call it Lent or you call it Rosas or you call it, different fasts for Jains or Hindus. I think it's there in every religion where the law of spirituality is very deeply understood that the more sacrifice you make in the materialistic world, the more you will get repaid in the spiritual world. And earlier on, because a woman's life was so deeply connected to the man's life, I think it was very, very important. The long life of your man was very, very important. And today also, I believe that, okay, maybe today it's not about the long life of the man, but definitely for all of us who are deeply in love, I think it is such a beautiful gesture. Radha Puneet wants to keep this fast with me and I said, nothing doing. Don't you dare steal my thunder. I don't want this to become about you. This is your focus on me. And it was so sweet. On the Bangkok airport itself, he bought me my gift. So I'm like sorted with even my gift. All right, now let's move into, now I hope you've gotten my version of Karwa Chauth and you can, keep whichever version that works for you. I definitely think if I didn't love my man, this festival would be quite a pain in whatever. So you know what I mean, right? All right, let's see what. Happy Karwa Chauth, ma'am. I had tried to call Gunjan. All right, if you're still trying to contact Gunjan, continue to do so. Just send her a message and keep, okay? So don't worry, she will respond. Sometimes especially the last 1 week has been super duper busy in our work life because I was trying to finish everything I possibly could so that I could free myself for the 12 days of Diwali. So it's possible that she may not have been able to respond, but don't you worry. Just give her a call today, she will respond. Saishajit Pillai, happy morning to everyone. Hi Puja, blessed to see you on Insta Live. For the first time I've come on Insta Live. I've always seen only the recording sessions. Oh Shashi, so happy to have you, sweetheart. God bless and welcome to the Insta Live for the first time. Lalita, my dear goddess Puja, Saubana, happy Karwa Chauth to you and all the people who are celebrating this festival. Style Click. Hi Puja, we don't stay with our in-laws and because of this we are not invited to most of the family functions. I feel bad and left out. Oh. You know what? I believe, Style Click, for those people who have a strong family, That's great. And for those people who don't, guess what you need to do? You need to start to belong to organizations and groups that can keep you busy as far as your social scene is concerned. So instead of feeling bad that they are not inviting me, remember one thing, that you know what, sometimes what happens is the most of the festivals we celebrate with siblings and their wives and husbands, right? So that's pretty much where the energy lives. So what I'd love for you to do is, for those of you who are invited, I can assure you, Style Click, there are some women here who will tell you, oh my God, I have to attend every single festival in my family and it is such a troublesome thing to do. So whatever we don't have is what we tend to miss. I would love for you to create. Imagine all the people who live away from their families. What do? They create their own community of the kind of sharings they'd like to do. And my suggestion is, if you have building friends, if you have your children's school friends, if you have whatever kind of friendships you have, I would love for you to indulge and nurture those relationships, so that a day comes where every festival feels like, so what if my family doesn't invite me? At least I have amazing set of friends. So we have to then nurture and be with people, especially the ones who are like us, feeling a bit lost. What I've noticed in my life is that earlier on, I used to spend a lot of time thinking like you, where I used to be like, this is not happening according to me, and this is not happening according to me, or this is happening because of this. And then at some point I told myself, you know what, Puja, whatever you want, go get it. I remember we had gone on this trip where I wanted to stay in these very impressive hotels, and we were checking into very average hotels, and I said, you know what, I need a group of women friends who really want to spend on good hotels. I remember writing that down in somewhere in 2010, 2011, and that year we landed up joining an organization where it was mandatory to do 2 trips with your, what they call the forum buddies, and you went to the most exotic locales and the most gorgeous hotels, and I was like, wow, you know, what I really wanted to do, I've been able to manifest in that manner. So I'm going to tell you that you start to manifest whatever it is you desire. You will be surprised at how quickly there will come a day where, you know, either you'll have your own program so you won't miss any family programs, or your family will just start to invite you because you've manifested that energy. Okay, so I don't want you to worry at all. I think sometimes things like this convey to us what's important to us, and then it's important to go get once we know what is important to us. Yeah. Nyoti, ma'am, how to attract and manifest our love and life partner? Happy Karwa Chauth, lovely ladies. Nyoti, I think the most important thing is to, one, have clarity on the kind of person you want. Okay, so make a whole list of all the things that you would love to have, all the things that are non-negotiable. So these are the things that are mandatory. These are the things I would love to have. So there's just the clarity of knowing what it is you want. A lot of times I've seen in the world is, once we have clarity, the person appears. Another thing is, notice where would this person show up? Will you catch him at art museums? Will this person be at the golf course? Will this person be? So look for, where would you like to find your man? A lot of times we are looking for our man in parties and in bars, and I feel like maybe that's energetically not the right place to find the love of our life. So you want to even figure that out. And another thing is to start to become more of the person you want to attract. So if you yourself start to be that person, you're writing all of those things that you want. Are you implementing those in your own life? You know, so a lot of times we write out things and then we want so much better than us, or so much, you know, you want to start to go, okay, for this kind of a guy, what kind of a woman would he need? And then I'd love for you to start to act as if you are that woman. You know, he will need a woman who looks after herself. He will need a woman who's attractive. He will need a woman who's confident. She will need a woman, and then become that woman. And the day your frequency and his frequency becomes a match, honestly speaking, that day you will start to see the ripples of you attracting that category of guys left, right, and center. Okay? Kirti, ma'am, I always do everything with equality. Then it feels hard to keep a fast and understand that I can bring long health to my husband. Kirti, I think we can and cannot bring long health or life to anybody or to our husbands. But you know what? Any wishes and desires, you have to understand that when Karwa Chauth was created, it was a time where the woman's entire economic status, her health, not her health, but her wealth, her economic status, her protection and providing, man was providing for her. And the life after you lose your man was so pathetic that for a woman, this was a huge need. Okay, so I don't know if I want you to fast with the same need, because today we women don't have that need. Okay, it will be lovely to have a partner, but if he's not there, it's not like your life will reduce to anything lesser than whatever you will choose to have it to be. So my mother-in-law doesn't have a husband, and I can tell you, she lives her life in such a way that my father-in-law from heaven will be so proud of the way she has handled her family, her life, her passions, her health. Mind-blowing amazing. Okay, so we have to give Karwa Chauth a meaning that has some substance for us. So instead of now praying for someone's long life or health, my suggestion is pray for great togetherness, great intimacy, great connectedness, great support of one another. You know, so I do believe, and why should only you do it? Because at one point the woman needed the man more. Okay, now if you feel you don't want to do it, it's not mandatory at all. But I think a man looking after a woman's emotions and a woman looking after a man's pride. Okay, sometimes I use the word egos, people don't like the word ego, but looking after how the man feels when he's around you, you know, putting him on that pedestal that he deserves to be if he's a good man, and a man honoring a woman's emotions. When both of this happens, a woman needs a lot of love, a man needs a lot of respect. When we start to interchange these things, it works out so beautifully. When I give him the respect he deserves, he gives me the love that I deserve. Yeah, I'm not saying the woman doesn't need respect or the man doesn't need love, but you know what I mean. Generally, the more respect you give to your man, the more he can love you. And I think that that's a beautiful combination. And wouldn't you agree that Karwa Chauth in some form is also a boost to the man's ego, to the man's pride? And you know what? If you have a good man, he so deserves this. Again, I don't want to convince anyone in this room for wanting to desire to do Karwa Chauth, but I do believe that every festival, when created, whenever it was created, had a lot of meaning for that time. Today, it may not be that relevant. My suggestion, give your own meaning to the festivals so that you can connect with them more deeply and make them yours. Yeah? Oh, Alio Crown, ma'am, you're looking super gorgeous. Thank you, sweetheart. That's so sweet of you. Nice. Oh, so sweet. Smriti, ma'am, what is love and how to know if you love your partner or not, or if you should plan a life with him? I love it. So Smriti, if you're asking this question of what is love and how to know, then I can tell you right away that that's not the right person. Because when you are in love, you don't question it. And if you question it, it's not love at all. What do I mean when I say this? There is something. So when you are going to be in love, the chances are you don't need to doubt it. The fact that you're doubting it tells me there is something in that picture that is not right. So you need to examine that. Now, marriage was made for a lot more than just love. There was a time that marriage was an economic exchange of, between the father and the bridegroom. That you take my daughter, you look after her, with her I will give you so much money. Now she's your responsibility for the rest of your life. You have children with her, you keep her. So it was an economic exchange to ensure that civilizations go forward, knowing who their children, grandchildren and the whole lineage is, right? Today it's all changed. So I feel like you may need to first decide, is this the right person? How do you know this is the right person? You should feel it in your heart. If you're not feeling it in your heart, somebody has to convince you to love someone. That's not love. Okay? Like when I got married, I felt like it was an economic exchange, and therefore it took me 5-6 years of realizing that for me, I want to be in this marriage out of choice and not because of a paper. And I told Puneet, I said, you know what, sweetheart, I want to earn my own money. I want to become financially completely independent. I want to know that whether I'm in this house out of choice or is it because I have been, put here. And I remember the day, actually very clearly, the day I told myself I can now easily move out and live in my own house. Do I want to? And I said, no, I want to be in this house. So I think it's a great thing, Smriti, to check what is it that you are questioning in your love. Okay? Why are you even asking this question, what is love? okay? Because love is an emotion that you feel. When you feel so much for someone that you can do anything to make them happy, to me that is a form of love. True or not? Okay, when you don't get the reciprocation, you start to feel used, you start to feel like, you know what, I'm not, and that's when the doubt comes in. Otherwise, there won't be any doubt, right? So it's very important that in a marriage, we continuously keep on communicating with one another what our needs are, what our desires are, what it is we want. We are very good at talking about what it is we don't want, but I think we don't talk enough about what it is that we want. So if you are planning to plan a life with him, my suggestion, this morning I was watching someone 10 questions to ask before you marry someone. You know, the more you can get to know him, the more you can get to know whether you are a value match. I think one of the most important, earlier we used to match kundalis. Now I think we should match our value systems, you know. When the same things matter, like Puneet and I, both of us are extremely family oriented, and for us, our families come above all our other values. So whether it is my career or it is anything, it's the family first. And for him also it's family first, for me also it's family first. Makes life so much easier because both of us have the same value system, right? So see how you can use all of this, my darling. Parampara, but society always forces us to not live after husband. Stop listening to society. Who is society any which ways? One Masi, one Chachi, one Taiji. Get rid of them as soon as you can and make a life so beautiful that, you know what, your spouse looking from heaven should be so proud of you. Oh, thank you everyone. Whoever's wishing me happy Karwa Chauth, same to you, sweethearts, for everyone who's celebrating. How to navigate through this day when going through a troublesome marriage when husband never reciprocates. You know what, Somi, I don't know if this day would be a great day for me if I was going through a troublesome marriage. It's like, you know how on Valentine's Day, a lot of single people feel very lonely because it's all about that love, and you know that love actually annoys you when you are single. The same way, I think Karwa Chauth can be an extremely annoying festival for anyone who's having to either keep it in a mandatory manner or is having to deal with a day where everyone is talking about all of this when you are not in alignment with it. So I believe that, you know what, you have to go with whatever your gut feel is. And if your gut feel is, hello, I don't think this day is great for me, then you do how you would like to do your Karwa Chauth, you know. If you feel like he doesn't reciprocate, let him know that you know what, I'm not even keeping this fast from my heart because you're not bringing out that love in me. I know a lot of men who will not even wish their wives happy Karwa Chauth, who will not even think of buying anything for her. It is such a sweet day to celebrate. You see, in our life, every single day, we have so much stress, we have so much anxiety, we have so many bad memories, we have so many reasons to be upset, that one of the things religion did was it just kept bringing celebration back into our life because it understood the concept of that all bad feelings go really deep and all happy feelings are actually very, very superficial on top. How do I give you an example of this? If you go to a party and 5 people say, wow, you're looking so pretty, so gorgeous, and one person says, hey, तूने अपने बालों का क्या किया है? ये क्या haircut है कैसी लग रही है? You will look at the mirror 10 times and this thought will go far deeper than all of the compliments that you would have gotten. Okay. Now, religion understood this, and because religion understood this, it said, you know what, we need to keep on. Every month there should be festivals where people wear new clothes, where people dress up. Now we need reasons. Okay. Now, religion in India did it with Diwali, did it with Baisakhi, did it with, you know, all of the Holi, and we have so many festivals in India. You know that, right? Now, abroad, what did they do? They made it Happy Valentine's Day, Happy Mother's Day, Happy this day. But the whole concept is the same, which is concentrating on some relationship to make it special so that we can have a day of celebrating something. It's actually a day of gratitude. Today is the day of a woman giving gratitude to her husband. Another day will be us giving gratitude to Goddess Lakshmi. Another day is us giving gratitude to our teachers. So we all have days of gratitude so that no one gets taken for granted. Correct? That's basically what it is. So if anyone here is feeling like I'm not in alignment, you know what? Don't force yourself. Don't force yourself to be in alignment when you're not. I do believe that if my husband was not worthy of me keeping a fast, I have a feeling I won't keep it. You know, it won't come from the heart. And if it doesn't come from the heart, I'm not praying for anyone's long life or happy life or anything if I'm not feeling that connection. So my suggestion is you do you. Okay? And if at any point he's able to bring back the love that he needs to nurture within you, then at that point, why one fast? Keep every sola sombar. Who's stopping you? Correct? So I think this is very important that we start to understand the meaning behind the festivals beyond us just looking at, okay, why do I have to wear new clothes on Diwali? Why do I have to light diyas on Diwali? Why do I have to do this on Christmas? Why do I have to do this on Eid? I think each one was just created to bring back so that the depth of happiness goes down. And you know what happens a lot of times on festivals of this kind? We tend to forgive the people who've hurt us. We tend to, as families, reunite. We tend to let go of some of the misunderstandings. All of that helps, right? Because you go, acha, aaj to Diwali, acha, ab chodo, isko wish to main kar hi deti hu. You know, those kind of things start to happen. So it's so important for us to realize the purpose of festivals rather than, you know, the regressive, sometimes regressive meaning given to them. Image designer Mansi, Saubana goddess, does dressing up in a certain way makes you divine feminine? Nice. So Mansi, I think a lot of us women were created with the energy of looking beautiful actually enhances our own self-esteem. Okay, so there is a connection between us wanting to look a certain way. Now, does that make us divine feminine? I'm not sure. Okay, divine feminine to me is when it's more a personality thing than a looks thing. I don't connect the divine feminine so much with looks as I do with personality. For example, for me, Mother Teresa is divine feminine. Now, I don't know what her connection with her looks were. So divine feminine is when you have feminine energy and masculine energy in balance in your personality, which means you know how to flow when you need to flow, and yet you understand that you can in your spontaneous flow be productive and deliver goals and whatever else you want to achieve in your life. When those two come together, that is divine feminine for me personally. So that's my personal description of divine feminine. When there are days when I know I have to rest, I know when I have to holiday, I know when I have to work super hard, and if I'm able to bring a alignment to all of this, the contradiction of life, you know, because the feminine is the opposite of the masculine. So the feminine is all about being spontaneous and being in the flow and resting and looking at the sunrise and sipping your tea and smiling and enjoying the flowers in your house. All of that is the feminine, and the masculine is all about achievement. And when you can marry the two so beautifully, when you in your relaxed state can make yourself achieve great things, you don't need to get anxious, you don't need to lose your peace to achieve something, you know, in the energy of happiness, you can become a high achiever. To me, that is a divine feminine, okay? Now, where does then dressing up come in? There are women who love to gain their confidence through their looks. There are women who love to gain their confidence through their education. There are women who love to gain their confidence through their eloquent style of talking, or, you know, I mean, if you've ever heard Sushmita Sen talk, when she talks, she's like so gorgeous in her vocabulary and the choice of words and poetic, you know. So each one of us gets our self-esteem from something or the other. I'm personally extremely fond of clothes. Okay, so I know for me, spending on clothes comes very easily to me because I enjoy dressing up. Even if I was on an island alone, I have a feeling every morning I will want a new coconut banana dress or whatever, leaves ka bana hua. I'll be stitching clothes for myself with different leaves and adding flowers and making a skirt. And so I know that's there in my core personality. For some people, it may be in their makeup. For some people, it may be. So I think just understanding that more than divine feminine, I definitely feel like when you feel pretty, whatever makes you feel pretty, when you feel pretty, you are more confident, you show up in a better form. So do whatever it takes to position yourself in a manner that when you look at yourself, you feel more confident, and when others, you know, they say that it takes 3 seconds. Within the first 3 seconds, we have already finished judging the person we are meeting. So what is the judgment? It's on the physicality, right? So why not use it to our advantage? And especially if you're a peacock. If you are a peacock, enjoy the peacockness, right, of the feathers and all of that. Why pretend to be crow when you are a peacock, right? Your Insta life feels like a session, of course. Dedibilya 95. Ma'am, I'm going to marry, but he's a very good person, but sometimes I feel that he's not able to understand me. Divya, can I tell you something? Men and women are made so differently that actually this whole concept of he's not able to understand me, he can't even if he wants to. Okay? We as women are extremely emotional. Men normally do not have the extent of emotions that we have. So what they do is they like to get over problems by saying let it pass, let it go, jane de, all of those. And women feel misunderstood when a man does not acknowledge or, you know, approve the emotion that she's going through and give it the importance it deserves. So if you're not feeling understood, you need to sit him down and communicate with him where and which part. And just know that, you know what, if after communicating, he's willing to stretch himself to at least understand you a little bit, then know that he is a good man, like how you referred it. Yeah, like I know Puneet and I are poles apart. He is extremely introvertish in his personality. He has a very different personality from mine. I'm slow. I like to take things slow. I'm very, very feminine. He's extremely masculine in his energy. Needs to do everything fast. So I know that for him to understand me and for me to understand him is a stretch. But sometimes that in itself is the beauty of the relationship, that you and him will balance each other out. That, you know what, when he'll try to move fast, you'll slow him down. When you'll be too slow, he will fasten you up. And you know what, somewhere in that, you know, both of us being what we totally are, we bring in the balance of being a perfect couple. Perfect is not the right word, but being a couple who is able to bring balance to each other, bring harmony in our relationships. So I think if you're not feeling like he really understands you, maybe communication, therapy, going to a counselor, spending time doing activities together, shared interests, intimacy, connection, all of these will help, okay? Because I do believe a lot of us women will be able to say that I'm married to a good man, but he doesn't really understand me. This would be one of the most common problems in relationships. So I think you're going to be dealing with this for the rest of your life if you decide to marry him, or rather if you decide to marry any man. You're looking so beautiful today. I dressed up. Look at me, full set, wet and all that. So of course, your lipstick shade is amazing. Can you please tell me which one? It's a Bobby Brown pink crayon. Okay, Bobby Brown pink crayon. I'll take a picture of it and share it in my story. Haripriya Mohanty. My husband passed away 9 days back. He was a forward-looking man, denied me to observe any rituals, but due to family pressure, I have to do everything, and now they are blaming me. Why are you making it so elaborate? Haripriya, that is the problem, okay? You do too much, you get accused. You do too less, you get accused. You know what, in our society, it's crazy that in situations like this, instead of prioritizing the person who's suffering the most, we prioritize everything else. I mean, I know the kind of issues people have during weddings and during death ceremonies. 80% of the problems in families happen because somebody wants it some way and somebody wants it some way, and they've gotten into an argument on which is the right way. Now, this was your husband, so you decide, darling, what you want to do, and please do not try to accommodate every chachi, taiji, sasu, whatever relationships that you have, because in accommodating them, you are going to actually land up getting really, and you know who's suffering really? It's you. So Haripriya, sending you a lot of healing energy, a lot of love. This is a difficult time for you, and especially when you lost someone in the time of festival. All the festivals come and it just actually, you know, can be very, very hard on you. I want you to stay strong. I want you to stay connected to him. I know you can feel his energy. I know his soul is sitting right next to you most of the day, supporting you, consoling you. I really hope that in the next 3 to 6 months, he's able to look at you from heaven and say, oh my God, Haripriya, I'm so proud of you. Especially if he was a forward-looking man, then you know he's left you with the legacy of not to participate in things that you know that would have upset him, because he is not the kind of man who believes in all of this excessive things that we have created to, you know, sometimes actually they are not good for us. I feel like, you know what, that trauma that you go through twice. Once when you've actually lost someone, and second time when the whole rituals and all of that are so traumatic sometimes. So you follow your heart, sweetheart. Please honor yourself, because no matter what you do, I've seen that, you know what, the world is going to say something opposite only. So now that you know that the world speaks opposite, please sending you so much love, so much love and deep healing. And I hope you're a part of my community. If not already, then please join. I would love to hold space for you. I would love to be there for you all through this journey. Nidhi, I'm not able to manifest anything recently. Seems like God is not listening to me. Why that happens when you feel stuck? So Nidhi, the minute this becomes our truth, it also becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, my darling. So what's happened is there are 1, 2 or 3 things that have happened that you haven't been able to manifest, and now it's become a never. I can never do it. It seems like you know, God itself is not listening to me. What if God has been carrying you through this tough time without you realizing? So if you give it a negative meaning, your life will turn negative. If you give it a positive meaning, it will turn positive. So what can you say when things are not manifesting according to you? Okay, my suggestion is divine delay. One of the things I believe in is that, you know what, whenever God is not giving me something in time of what I'm imagining, he's never punishing me. He's preparing me because he wants to give me so much more. What is he doing? He's preparing me. So imagine if you start to believe that whatever it was that was supposed to come, he wants to give you more than that. So he's building your personality to become a person who can receive much larger. You know, when the rain falls, if you're standing with a cup, you will get cup size. If you're standing with a bucket, you'll get bucket size water. And if you're standing with a swimming pool, you'll get swimming pool size water. Okay. And sometimes you have to increase our cup because God wants to give us so much more. So anytime in my life when I don't manifest something, I only tell God, this means you want to give me more than what I was asking. So please now make sure that you, help me manifest something even better. Okay. And I always, whenever I'm trying to manifest, I add this sentence, this or something better, this or something better, so that I don't remain attached to the thing, but I rather stay in communication with my God G, because my God G knows best for me. Okay. So Nidhi, I'm going to tell you the same. Don't give it this meaning. It's not going to serve you. The more you believe this, the more this will become your truth. Now, I want you to have the opposite belief, which is God. See, when you go to a fast food restaurant like a McDonald's, how fast do you get your food? But is it as tasty as a Michelin star restaurant? When you go to a Michelin star restaurant, they take 25 minutes just to serve soup, right? But that soup will be mind-blowing delicious, correct? So if God is preparing something for you and it's taking a little longer, that's because he wants to give you Michelin star life and not a McDonald's life. Yeah? Nothing against McDonald's, but you know what I mean. How to handle the fear of what if something bad is happening to children and family after my mom's sudden demise? I've lost the strength on and off and I'm unable to handle this fear. Destiny 51189, you know, it is so important to build a new relationship with life and death. And I think one of the things I would love for you to start to do is to know that your mom now is in hotline with God protecting your children. Okay, you cannot be everywhere, but her soul can be everywhere. So I want you to outsource protecting your children to your mother. Okay, speak to her. Speak to her, know that she exists in the universe, and let her know that it's her job along with God to ensure that nothing now happens to your family. Okay? Again, I don't know what the truth is. What I know is the stories that we give ourselves become our truth. Okay? For anyone here who has a hotline with God, that means you have someone very close to you in heaven. Please start to use them as your bodyguards of life. Okay? When my father-in-law passed away, I don't know, 23 years ago maybe. Yeah, 23 years ago or 22 years ago. From that day, I have a feeling that he has put a protection, we call it Suraksha Kavach, on every member in my family. I just believe that. And because I believe that, I don't live in anxiety and fear. Otherwise, imagine when your children are that far, how scary it can be, right? So to every single one of you, it is what you focus and nurture in your thoughts that grows. You focus and nurture on a cactus, the cactus will grow. You focus and nurture on a rose will grow. You focus and nurture on the most beautiful flower in the world, that will grow. Now what you focus and nurture? You start to focus and nurture fear. Fear will grow, Meri Jaan. So today, take all of that, put it in the dustbin and make your mom do some work in the heaven. Neha, ma'am, please answer. I got married 2 years ago, but now I don't feel that love for him anymore because of our fights, that too because of my in-laws. Ma'am, I am afraid, will I be able to sustain this marriage or not? Neha, the only reason I'm smiling is because, sweetheart, I feel like, you know what, the purpose of marriage today is to help us evolve and find ourselves. That we come together. In the beginning, maybe there is a lot of love and there's a lot of chemistry and there's a lot of attraction. But slowly, we actually start to realize the missing pieces in us. So the job of our spouse is actually to mirror to us what is missing in us. And when he does say or communicate that, we actually get very hurt. But the real truth is that if we start to work on that and go on a journey of becoming the opposite of whatever they have labeled you as or misunderstood you as, we actually become the most beautiful version of ourselves. You know, when I got married, I remember I used to make a lot of jewelry. And my husband used to say, oh my God, how greedy are you? How much jewelry do you make? And in my head, I was brought up to think that the more jewelry a woman has, the more tomorrow if a husband needs anything, her money, she can actually sell the jewelry and serve him. So I was making jewelry for him and he was thinking that my jewelry is all out of greed. Can you see the mismatch? And so I feel like in the beginning, Puneet and I had so many such mismatched situations that a time came where I really think we both fell out of love with one another. He stopped appreciating and respecting and loving me. I stopped appreciating and respecting and loving him. And both of us went on a journey of self-growth where I started to do all of these courses. He went back to studying. He went and did his MBA. And I feel like we came back together as a lot more mature couple. And I'm going to tell you the same, that I feel like in a marriage we have seasons. Seasons of love and seasons of growth. And seasons of growth are normally times when you're going through the winter of your relationship. You know, it's the hard part of your relationship. And I do feel like sometimes we are looking at that winter and thinking, oh my God, everything is collapsing. But the real truth is that what follows winter is usually spring. And you do a good job of maturing yourself in that process and going on your own personal growth journey and completing who you are. You will start to notice, I always say, when two incomplete people come together, this is what happens. They keep losing out on one another because that curry is not strong enough. But when you both are complete and you come together, then nothing can break you away from one another. And I feel our job is to complete ourselves. All of us get married as incomplete rings, and slowly and steadily we have to keep on working on ourselves for us to become complete. And at some point when we are complete and we are in a relationship with one another, in a marriage or in any form of commitment, then commitment basically comes from interlocking. And when that interlocking happens and you've grown, then the maturity the relationship goes through is so beautiful. So I think all of us need to stop looking at marriages as a love connection, and we need to start to look at marriages as a growth connection. I mean, someday I want to do a relationship class on the purpose of marriage. And I want to remove all of the romance and the love and keep it on the side as a bonus. not as the main job of that relationship. The main job of that relationship is to actually mirror to one another where you need to be more complete. Which means the main job of a relationship is to show you the truths of life. And you know what? We actually think that the person who's showing us the truths of our life is against us, is opposite us. While the truth is that, you know what? This is the job of the relationship. Tarot by Cosmos. Hi ma'am, how can we control instant anger like road rage, anger on staff for not doing work in a certain way? So honestly speaking, anytime that you're feeling angry, you have to ask yourself, where is this anger coming from? What actually in your life are you not in control of that you are trying to control others? Anger to me is purely a form of feedback that something in your life is out of control. So you have to ask yourself that under this anger lives what? Where is the hurt coming from? And under the hurt, where is the fear? What is it that I'm really scared will happen? And then when you go from anger to hurt and hurt to fear, instead of communicating anger or expressing anger, explain your anger. What do I mean by that? So I would a lot of times enter my children's room, and let's say I had asked them to study, and I would walk in and they would be playing a video game, and at that point I want to rage, right? But I'm going to take 3 deep breaths and I'm going to say, you know what, Puja, if you rage, you will land up actually ruining this relationship that is already not working even further. Now, what do you want from this relationship? Do you want good communication, or do you want to vent out what is your frustrations of life? And I think too many of us mothers are frustrated in our marriages, in our life, in our situations, and we are removing it on our children, we are removing it on our staff, we are removing it on roads, all of that. It's all unnecessary because actually we haven't been able to tell the right person the right thing. So we are going around leaking, or like they say, bleeding on people who didn't cut us, right? And so I believe that at one point in the room I will enter and then I will say, beta, mom's going to get very angry now. Do you want mom to come and scream at you? I had told you at 11:30 to switch off this video game. It's already 12 o'clock. You haven't even started. Tomorrow is your exam. What do you want me to do? How can I support you on this journey? Should I sit in your room? Would you like me to sit on your head? I can come here and read a book. What do you want? Okay, tell me what it is you want. And half of the time, you know what? When you do not rage on your children, when you do not rage on people, they get guilty. And then they start to actually act according to how you want them to act. The minute you actually release anger on someone, you reduce and remove all of their guilt towards you. So it's better to have people feel bad that they disappointed you than to remove your anger on them. Okay? So all I'd like you to do is come up with various ways around handling your anger. You can do deep breathing. You can do gratitude. You can do, anytime you're coming across someone where you know that this is a person who can make you angry. In advance, I want you to prepare in your head that when he starts to make you angry, what you're going to do. Like one of the things I love doing is smiling. If I'm smiling, how will I get angry? Is it possible? Not possible, right? So I'll just keep smiling and smiling and smiling in my head. Sometimes I don't even have the smile on my face, but I'm just thinking, you know what? Whatever you're trying to do, you're not going to succeed because I've way past crossed this stage of giving you the remote control of my life. Today, you cannot control me. Today, you cannot say things to me where I will lose myself, and tomorrow I'll only have to apologize for things that I didn't do wrong. Okay? So I think learning to hold on to your peace in the middle of the chaos or the storm is one of the biggest gifts you give to yourself. Now, all of this comes from practice. It's not going to come like the minute you know this information. No, it's not going to come like that. But if in the week, out of the 5 times that you got angry, 1 time you were able to come into the room and dance and say, yay, I was able to control myself. That is success, my darling. And then the next week, out of the 5 times, you twice were able to control your anger. Massive success. And you know what? A time should come where I remember at one point with Puneet, and I'm giving more examples of Puneet today only because it's Karwa Chauth. But I remember we used to go to Goa every 3 months for a holiday for like 2 nights. And I used to say, कुछ भी हो जाए मैंने लड़ना नहीं है इस छुट्टी पे. You know, इतना पैसा खर्च के फिर लड़के आते हैं, फिर सारा मजा चले जाता है. And I said, I'm not going to fight. And yet I used to land up fighting on the last day, or something would go wrong. And then I remember a holiday coming where we didn't fight on that trip. And then a time came where 3 months passed by and we have not fought. Or a week passed by, a month passed by, 3 months passed by, 6 months passed by. Now I actually pick up fights because I feel like the relationship needs a little bit of masala for it to keep going, so that, you know what, we don't stagnate. So now literally he or I will choose to fight so that we can, you know, do a little bit of khichdi so that things get a little shaken up and stirred, so that we don't land up taking each other for granted. So as you practice this, darling, in the beginning you may feel like you're failing, but the real truth is every step towards your ability to keep your peace in situations which are chaotic is a huge gift that you give to yourself. Chandana, how to get not offended by the labels that are put on us. So Chandana, I remember hearing this story, and I don't know if it's fully relevant or not, but you can decide. You know, anytime there was this man who came in and he was shouting at this very spiritual person, let's take Buddha, and he was shouting at Buddha and said, you know, you are just destroying the world and you're not doing a good job. And eventually he spat on Buddha and went away. And Buddha just kept sitting there calmly without responding. And, you know, somebody asked Buddha that, you know what, he said all of these nasty things and you didn't even say anything in return. So he said, when you don't take a gift from someone that they have brought for you, who does it belong to? They said, them only. He said, the same way, if I don't receive all that they are saying, who does it belong to? To them only. And to me, I just loved this story because, you know, I just felt like whoever is calling me whatever is actually reflection of the projections that they are, you know, keeping inside. To me, whatever words someone uses are words that actually belong to them. It's not a part of my dictionary. They are just reading me wrong. They don't have the capacity or the understanding or the experience or the wisdom to read me. And you know what? I have to allow the world to not have that level of capacity. So now when someone reads me wrong, I just say, you know what? They're not mature enough to read me. They're not mature enough to understand me. A time will come, they'll get it. I don't have anything to prove. I don't have any justification, any explanation, because those who've decided to misunderstand you will misunderstand even your sweetest words. They will, you know, twist that around also and make it into a wrong intention. So I don't like to waste my time on people who have decided to misunderstand me. And I love saying thank you to all labels put on me. So if now somebody says, Puja, you're such a bitch, I'm like, thanks. In my head, I know what a bitch means. That means I am not serving your agendas. I am decisive. I know what I want. I have clarity and I'm not willing to be manipulated by you. That's the meaning of a bitch in my definition in my head. That, you know what, I'm not giving you the permission. You're finding me too strong, too stubborn, too, you know, decisive. So you are giving it a negative word. But actually, you know what, all my life I've been giving in to everybody. Today I want to do something for myself and you're having so much problem with it. So in my head, I am explaining to myself that actually what they are saying, they are right. And I'm taking that as a compliment. Okay, I'm turning that around and taking it as a compliment. Those can be some words, and in some words, the other person just doesn't know you. Okay, today Puneet will tell you that greedy is not a word you can ever use on Puja. I am many things, what I'm not is greedy. He himself will tell you. So over the years, what has happened, we've kind of been able to establish that, you know what, he misunderstood me for the woman that I was. And I think when you give people time to recognize you and you don't hurry for them to change their opinion on you, the organic stance that they move into is so beautiful, you know. So I love it. I love it when my mom-in-law today says that, you know, Puja has such a beautiful heart, or my husband will say something so nice. These were the same people who in the beginning in my marriage didn't think much of me. Which is also okay because they didn't know me, right? I had not shown them this side. It was there inside, but they had not come across it. So I shouldn't hold it against them and they shouldn't hold it against me. So Channa, I would love for you to start to either reject the labels like Buddha did and say, you know what? I don't accept this accusation. You can keep saying what you like. Someday the world will know and you will know this is not true. You can live with that thought, or in your head you can just say thank you. Just because my personality is not suiting your agendas, you are trying to bring me down or put me down. Keep trying, sweetheart. you are not going to be able to manipulate me by using words like this, that I am going to start to want to change your opinion and in the process give you all of my power. The one thing I want everyone in this room to be careful of, that when people start to label you, they want you to work against that label, and sometimes it is for their own agenda. Okay, please, in trying to be a people pleaser, you land up actually, you know, hurting the person you love most, or you should love most, which is yourself. So from today onwards, if someone is agenda you're not fitting into, you know, it's okay. Live with disappointing some people that you love, knowing that when the day they really get to know you, they will be proud of who you are. But you know what? It needs a lot of patience, lot of maturity, and a big heart, right? And I'm going to encourage all of you to come and do awakening with me, enlightenment with me, the programs where I like to build this in women. I want to personally sit down and build, you know, the ability to sit in disappointing our loved ones, knowing that a day will come that the same people will applaud for the ones that were where you were being criticized. All right, we are already at 10:55. Can you tell me in the chat box which was your favorite question of the day, just for us to be able to, you know, I wanna change the thing of, instead of making it a post by you on your story, I want to start to send the book to the best question of the day. So just see if you can refer to the best question of the day. Actually, I should have told you this in the beginning so that you could have all written down who had asked what. But any which ways, if you had a favorite question, just put, and if you're able to find that person of who had asked that question, I will go back to sending them my book. Okay. Jaya Neil, dear Puja, I feel very shy to record videos. How to overcome that? Jaya, till the time the focus is going to be on you, you will feel shy, you will feel ugly, you will feel your pimples, you will feel your hair, you will feel your double chin, you will feel your voice is not great, you will feel your audio quality is not great, you will feel the video is not getting recorded correctly, blah, you know what I mean, right? The day it becomes, the person you are serving becomes more important than the person you are, that day onwards, recording videos will come easy to you. You know, for 3 years in my life, I used to keep on making a new excuse every morning on why I can't record videos. The truth was, the heart needs to be in the right place of service. If your videos, you truly believe in your heart, are going to serve someone, tell me something, does it matter to them what kind of personality you are? No. So therefore, all you need to do is focus on the fact, you know, they say Mother Teresa was extremely shy. Rather, when she was offered to become principal of Loreto Convent, they say she said no, because she said, I can't handle the spotlight. And look at who she went on to become, right? So I'm telling you, Jaya, I need you to become super famous, but for the right reasons, okay? So yes, keep your shyness on the things that you want to, but when it comes to your purpose, your mission, your journey to serve, let the service be higher than whatever your personality type is. Let your personality type not overshadow your mission. Let your mission make you into the woman who truly believes she has something to say and help the world in a manner that will be literally creating your own legacy. Your morning routine, please. For all of you who are asking me my morning routine, please look up this man called Hal Elrod, and he has a beautiful morning routine called Savers. S for silence, A for affirmations, V for visualization, E for exercise, R for reading, and S for scribing. Okay, so Savers, and look at what each one of these means, and just start to do this every single day. I feel like just these 7 things done or 6 things done are the most beautiful way to start your day. I like to follow Savers personally, so I'm going to encourage all of you here to do the same. Oh, I love it. All the answers, all the questions are getting so much love. So nice to see all of you sitting and concentrating and listening. Oh, so sweet. Thank you everyone for coming. A very, very happy Karwa Chauth once again. Loads and loads of love. Bye. Ciao.